Did you hear about the match which led to Tyron Woodley tattooing "I love Jake Paul" on him? It's been the talk of the town. Today we're going to talk about pros reacting to Tyron Woodley's Jake Paul tattoo and why he's now the laughingstock of the MMA world. How did the tattoo come about? What was Jake Paul's reaction to it? We'll find out soon, so make sure you watch till the end of the video. Woodley got "I love Jake Paul" tattooed on him. Quite interesting. So here's the story. Woodley lost a split decision to Paul in a professional boxing match last month. The loser of the fight was supposed to get a tattoo of the winner's name on their body as part of the fun leading up to the big fight. After the fight, Paul threw down the gauntlet to Woodley, who was dissatisfied with the judges' scorecards and said, "If you get the tattoo, I love Jake Paul, let's run it back." So he decided to get the tattoo, and the reaction from the MMA and boxing communities was quite amusing. Woodley tagged Paul in the post and accompanied it with a caption which reads as follows: "I love you, son, and now that I've heard you've been talking back to your elders, come on over here and receive some whipping. Hashtag man of my word. Where are you right now?" The piece was done by tattoo artist Rubia Santana. At first, it wasn't apparent if Woodley had gotten a permanent tattoo or if the ink was just a prank on Paul. Woodley subsequently posted a video of the operation to his Instagram account, probably in response to the criticism he had received. Paul won over Woodley on purpose, and Woodley only got the tattoo for Paul to consent to a rematch. Jake Paul's win caused turmoil on social media, so next up, we'll be looking at a few reactions to the fight on Twitter. What was Twitter's reaction to Jake Paul's split decision win over Tyron Woodley moments after the fight? Paul is currently 4-0 in his boxing career and went against his most illustrious opponent with a split decision victory against Woodley in front of a hometown crowd at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse in Cleveland. The fight was a pay-per-view on Showtime. Did you know that prior to his fight with Woodley, Paul made it evident to the media that he was ready for the battle and would be stepping up his game tremendously? After his submission loss at UFC 260 in March, Tyron Woodley had a 4-fight losing streak going into free agency. Paul's career has been quite successful thus far. In November, he defeated Nate Robinson and turned him into a meme. Ben Askren, a former mixed martial artist, was also knocked out in the first round by him. Woodley versus Paul was a hot topic on Twitter after the fight, and there was plenty of feedback from onlookers on social media. Next, we have a few comments about the fight. Skip Bayless said, in the words of Jake's older brother, "Jake had to face his fears, take a shot, shake it off, and defeat a 5-time UFC champion." Joy Taylor said, "During the early rounds, Woodley was far too conservative, and Paul should have been more severely punished. To win that battle was a huge accomplishment for Jake Paul. He's not faking it." Yes, without a doubt, while it's clear that Woodley lacks boxing ability, this matchup should serve as a timely reminder of just how much of a sham Jake Paul is. He'd be stopped by any true boxer, a comment made by Gerald Carroll. The funniest comment I got to read so far was, in Jake Paul's words, "The Rock posted me on his Instagram, I can retire now." Why did Woodley show off his brand new "I love Jake Paul" tattoo on social media? To our surprise, the former UFC welterweight champion uploaded a photo of himself with the words, "I love Jake Paul," which he got inscribed on his middle finger. Was that the original bet agreed on by both fighters? We are getting deep into the story here. So basically, the original agreement was for the loser to receive the tattoo of just the winner's name. The wager was amended when Woodley immediately advocated for a rematch in the ring in which whoever loses would get "I love" tattooed on them with the winner's name. Paul indicated he'd be happy to run things back if Woodley got the tattoo, and the two shook hands again. Pros react to Tyron Woodley's Jake Paul tattoo. It's evident that Paul wasn't thinking about it. If you have paid attention to the topic of this video, you would realize that he became a laughingstock just after the pros reacted to the picture of his tattoo. There was an uproar on Twitter and Instagram as his MMA peers reacted quickly, with comments ranging from secondhand embarrassment to outright disgust. Let's check out some of the comments showing how they reacted when Woodley got "I love Jake Paul" tattooed on him. "I'm all about chasing the bag, but this ain't it, Chief," said Jeff Molina. Woodley and former UFC welterweight Dan Hardy got into it, and Hardy had a few choice comments for Woodley regarding his tattoo. The bulk of the combatants appear to disapprove of Woodley's actions, but he doesn't seem to give a damn. There is reason to believe that Woodley will be able to make even more money this time around if the two meet again. If so, the tattoo on his finger will have been well worth it for Woodley's career. Dan Hardy commented, "Anyone who has a tattoo on himself knows that's not a tattoo. What a dork." He continued, "You left out the love part, and that's written in pen. Well played. It looks like a tattoo your friend did when you were both drunk. An embarrassing tattoo is one thing, but a bad embarrassing tattoo is a whole other." This is where it starts getting interesting because Woodley replies to Hardy and says, "Your UFC career is quite embarrassing. Your move to fame is you got stumped by GSP and you didn't die. Everything was by design. I'll keep setting trends while you tweet." Dan Hardy fires back, "You're trending because you've got Jake Paul tattooed on your finger. Well done. Congratulations on your success. I remember the crowds booing you in appreciation as you wore your heel out against the fence, backing up and avoiding the fight." Woodley then replies again, "Belt, as well as many distinctions, things you've only ever imagined." The crowd erupted in applause as you were wheeled wheeled away on a stretcher. Last time you fought, the champions were still in diapers. Continue to chase your dreams while sitting on a garbage bag in your garage. From Outlaw to Uber Black Drive. Fans watch this back and forth between Hardy and Woodley as Hardy fires back again. We're the same age, you fool. It's just that I competed in the UFC a bit earlier, during the reign of the greatest welterweight champion of all time. You came after. It was at this point that Woodley turned into a laughingstock by other pros and fans. Guess what Jake Paul's reaction was? Initially, in an Instagram story, Paul explained why he thinks Tyron Woodley got the tattoo in the first place. Tyron obtained the wire as a result of the fight. Tyron purchased a used Bentley. Tyron dialed his accountant's number and spoke with him for a few minutes. His accountant informed him of the whole amount he owed. Tyron had a body tattoo done. Despite the fact that it was all a part of the wager, Jake Paul still can't believe Tyron Woodley got the tattoo. No way did a grown man get a tattoo that says "I love Jake Paul," Paul said. The YouTube personality shared a video on Tuesday morning, and it appears the former UFC welterweight champion was merely playing because Paul didn't clarify whether the rematch is a done deal. "This is my official reaction to Tyron Woodley's tattoo," says Paul. Towards the end of the video, Paul spittles out a piece of paper from his mouth, which, when unfolded, says, "I love you too." "Can I grip those cheeks now, Poppy?" Paul ends his statement. After Paul and Woodley agreed to a pre-fight wager that stipulated the loser would get the victor's name tattooed on their arms, Paul went after Woodley for adding another condition. Surprisingly, according to all reports, Woodley is still far from having his wish granted and will have to look at Paul's name for the rest of his life. Rematching Tyron Woodley, on the other hand, may be a great option. Paul knows what to expect from T. Wood, having fought the best in the UFC in the ring. In addition, because he failed to score a knockout in the first bout, a rematch could be beneficial to him. If Paul accepts Woodley's rematch invitation, we'll get an even better showdown between the two of them. Do you think this can happen? Drop your comments below.